Hi, today I want to talk about using transfer paper. Now I'm working with this thick board. This is Schoellershammer's 4G, but anything where you've got thick board and you can't use a light table, or my technique using a window as a light box, where the card can shine through and the image, and then you can trace over with your pencil. That doesn't work obviously when it gets this thick. I have used the a projector, but the projector I have is not that great. So now I'm using this transfer paper and it works very good. Now this one I have is called Saral Transfer Paper and graphite. Now you can get them in different colours. It says along here you've got graphite, white, blue, yellow and red. If you're working on a black surface, then obviously a white would be great. So you can use that over and over again as well. You don't just use it once and then chuck it away. I've already taped off my area on my board and I've started the transfer already. I've cut it out so it fits exactly the size of board on three sides. Of course down this side it doesn't matter. And then I've got the image on the top, put my magnets down, and for this I'm using just an ordinary biro to do the transfer. Now I've already started doing it so that I can save time. Hopefully you can see I've started with the pen, just going round the areas that I want to transfer onto my card. Now you don't have to draw everything, but anything that you think is important that you want to transfer on. Like for example here I've got this tip of the finger, but you can see where I've done a line here, but you can see there's a shadow that goes underneath. Now what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to do dotted lines. Now for the purpose of this video and for you peeps to see what I've done underneath, I'm pressing quite hard. Now normally I wouldn't actually press this hard because I don't need to. I can, in fact the lighter it is the better, because if I go in too dark I'm going to end up using a rubber, this is a Staedtler rubber, to lighten them, which I will have to do with this anyway, because obviously you don't want to have these dotted lines shining through once you've put your paint down. This is what you call ticking in apparently, where you just draw the lines and you also draw little dots where the shadows are, and it just gives you an indication. And I just want to show you, I haven't done the eye yet, because when you're doing the eye you pick out what you want to do, but also the highlights. If you see here there's a highlight in the middle of the eye. Now I'm just going to go round that. There's also highlights down here on the bottom here. So I'm going to put those in. Now you can put as few or as many in as you want. I don't put in everything. For example, I'm not going to bother showing where these shadows are because I will use them a reference picture to see those. But obviously I want to see this, the edge of the eyeball. And put that in. You've got the eye coming round here. And this doesn't have to be really accurate. These are just guidelines, remember. And here you've got this dark area here which is quite black, so I'm not going to tick it in, I'm actually going to draw that in. And this will give me a really good guideline. Also what's important is this line here, and also this one that goes with the eyelashes. There you go. I don't particularly draw all the eyelashes, but just some, and that gives me an indication and will help me when I'm drawing, when I'm painting it. keep the perspective, and I'll know where I am. These eyelashes at the top, this one's quite important, and I like to put in, I say not all of them, but it just helps me with the length. Anything that looks a bit unusual, like these two splitting here, but these ones in between are not that important to put in. Put those in later. Now I will be using some stencils on this as well. Also, what's important on this one is this line. Now remember, transparent paints, you're going from dark to light, so I'm marking out my darkest areas. Now here you've got shading, so I'm ticking that in with a dotted line. This one goes up here and kind of breaks and goes there as well. But remember, you put in as much or as little as you want, and you use the reference image. I always keep a reference image, mine's up here on the left, and that helps me. There's a little indent here on the finger. Now putting those in is quite important because I'm going to be using stencils which I've cut out for the darkest areas, the reason I've done that is just to make things easier, and I can do these darkest areas, get them done quickly, and I won't get overspray on the rest of the picture. Now the reason I'm showing these highlights as well is because I'm also going to be using some, not liquid frisket, but something like liquid frisket, which is why I'm marking those in. Now that for me is enough. So hopefully when I take this away, I'm going to have a good copy. There you can see what I've just done, and that gives me a really nice starting point to work with. This line here is really dark, and I don't need it to be that dark. I've only done it now so you can see how this is transferred. Normally I would use the pen a lot lighter, even a pencil. What I can do if it's too dark is I go in with this rubber and just lightly go over the top of it, and that's taken the line down. Another thing I will mention, because there are different types of transfer paper, but you want one that's wax free. Some transfer papers apparently, obviously, are not wax free, and that means when you paint over them there will be some sort of waxy substance on it which will cause the paint not to stick. And just another tip, once you finish your rubber, if you get yourself a nice soft brush like this and take it off with that rather than with your fingers, because your fingers have also got oily substance in your skin and you don't want that. That could also cause problems when you come to paint. So there you go, this is how I used transfer paper. Have fun, good luck.